Hi everybody, welcome to another video. This is the Iwata WS400 Series 2. This is a 1.4 HD. HD just means it's basically 1.42 millimeters instead of 1.4 millimeters. That's the size of the tip. So just before I start, thanks to all the new subscribers, and obviously thanks to the existing subscribers. If you're liking what you see, then think about giving us a subscription. There's a link in the description of the video. Also in the description of the video, there is a link to two previous videos before this, and that is of what was designed originally just to be a pure unboxing, a physical comparison to the original WS, and it turned out to be a bit more, and I won't go on too much about that because you can watch that video if you want to. And that led to a second video, which again I'll put in the description. So where we are now is we've got the gun. I've set it up more or less how it should be. I say more or less because I still have to offset slightly the air horns to get this 90 degrees in the instructions. And Iwata contacted me after the original video. They also contacted me on Instagram as well, just to say that what I was finding is not how the gun should spray. And what I've since found is that you need to get, and it does say it in the instructions, but you need to get that tip at more or less 90 degrees to the top. And by that I mean there's 4 cutouts in the tip, so you need one cutout at 12 o'clock, one at 3 o'clock, one at 6 o'clock and one at 9 o'clock. And because I just pinched them up, I don't think it's right to over tighten them. I just pinched them up and I set the air horns at 90 degrees to the top of each other, so 180 degrees apart, 90 degrees from the top at an angle for the angle. It just wasn't quite enough. Now when I over tighten it, in my opinion it's over tighten it, because Iwata on this gun say that you shouldn't tighten it more than 4 Newton meters, and if you tighten it at 4 Newton meters or less, it doesn't meet this 90 degree criteria. It might do with some use, because you know, as things stretch and things seat, then maybe it will. So what I've done is I've done it up slightly more than the 4 Newton meters, probably about 10 or 11, which is more than they say, but it's the only way I can get it anywhere near to 90 degrees. But it is quite crucial, and again, if you watch those other 2 videos, you will see that it is quite crucial. So I've set this up with the tip as near as damn it, you'll see it towards the end anyway, as near as damn it to, I'll put a little picture actually in the top left hand corner now, so I'll put a little picture and you'll see what I mean. But that is quite important to get this thing to spray right, and by spray right I mean it needs to be able to be used on full fan, because that was one of the real bugbears with the older gun. People used to have their own little settings, like, you know, 2 out in the fan, 1 3/4, 2 1/2, fluid wherever you wanted it, but it didn't really like full fan. And the thinner the material, so if you're using medium solid clear coats and even high solid base coats like I use most of the time, it just the fan would separate. Even though you're using it at 2 bar, you could lower the pressure because that would bring the fan together, but then you're starting to lose atomization. So anyway, it's a long story, but that's what happens with the original. So looking at the new one, they were claiming that they'd fixed that, and to a degree they have, because it works really well. It's a fantastic clear coat gun. I mean, this was a project for a car, one of our family's cars that had a bit of an accident, so I'm just doing it, really getting it sorted out. And this is a fender or a bumper off of that car. Bigger than the stuff I normally do, because I normally do bike stuff, but you know, painting is painting, as I say, so it's all the same thing really. But it was a good tryout for this gun, for the video, so it gives you an idea of what it can do. And it was one of those things that I was trying to try and keep it as to match the existing car as much as I could, and this thing, when it's working well, lays the base, the clear coat on really flat. So you have to be careful not to get it on too flat. Now, to a lot of people that'll sound silly, but if you've got something that's too glossy, especially on an older car, and it is just too flat, it sticks out a mile. You know, you can tell when a panel's been painted and when it hasn't. Although the paintwork on this car is actually very good. But anyway, it was just you had to keep your wits about you to actually keep that peel, because if you want it to, it can lay it as flat as you like. And towards the end of the video, I've got we've got some panels that we play around with here to do different experiments with different guns against each other, and I've got one of those that I use it on just to get the flattest finish I can, so that you can see what a super flat finish this thing can produce if you want it to. And I must admit, I was really impressed with it. It's a fantastic gun. I think I still prefer the looks of the old one, to be fair, the WS2, but sorry, the WS Series 1. But yeah, I mean, it's touch and go, and who knows, in 2 years' time, this may be the one that you think looks better. It's always, when something's new, you always think, I quite like the old one still. But you know, that changes as it goes along. But the atomization on this thing is really fine. It's a cracking clear coat gun, and I'm in the process, and it is quite early stages. I'm in a process of doing like a top 10 full-size gun video. I did a mini-gun video, which again I'll put the link in the description. But I'm in the process of doing a top 10 or thereabouts full-size gun video. And the original WS would have finished somewhere, as I say, I haven't finalised it, but it would have finished somewhere around about 746, I suppose, as a general spray gun. Obviously it's made for clear coat as such, but it would have finished somewhere around there. And this, in my mind, has propelled this gun up to number 2 or number 3 or somewhere around there. I really haven't sorted out where I would put them, because there's a few guns in my mind, and that's the Segola 4600, the clear gun, and also I really like the Walcom, the HTE Carbonio 360, the light version. I really like that as well. So it would be very close as to what gun would come out top, but you can see the finish this gun produces, really nice. And this is, we're not trying to get as flat finished as we can. I'm trying to get it to match. We actually did the whole thing, primed it, based it and everything. So I've got a few videos coming up which will show you me doing that. But this is the video I wanted to get out, because I know a lot of people have been asking about the WS Series 2, and for some reason you can't get it in the US and Asia and that. You can't, or Australasia, Africa even, you can't get it at the moment. It only seems to be in Europe, and I think that's, I mean, as far as I know, it's designed in Europe. Although it's a Japanese company, it's designed in Europe, and I think it's still made in Japan. But you know, the corporate world being what it is, for whatever reason they've decided that they're not going to release it worldwide, just in Europe. So any UK dealers have to say that they're only going to sell it in the UK. And also there's a bit of price fixing going on as well, because there's no discount allowed, which, I mean, I didn't think that they were allowed to do that, but you know, maybe they are. But anyway, so here's the finished article on this bumper. We did actually do the bonnet afterwards, because there was a load of stone chips on it, but this is before the bonnet was done. So we're trying to match it colour wise, etc. Haven't quite finished putting it on yet, but I thought, well, I'll take a few videos so that you can see that the peel actually matches very well the existing paintwork, and so does the colouring as well. So I think it's a job well done. Really fantastic gun. And the next bit of video you see, which is this bit here, I'm just trying to get it as flat as I can so that you can see what a finish it can produce, because I know a lot of guys out there want a super flat finish. And believe me, I don't think this gun will disappoint. As I say, along with a couple of others that I've already mentioned, it's an absolutely fantastic gun. Real joy to use. And of course, if you watch the other 2 videos, it then sets me thinking, well, if this is a joy to use like this, what's the other gun, the original WS400, like if you set it up the same as this. And by that I mean you put the cap crooked. And again, I'll put a little picture in the top right hand corner now, and you'll see what I mean. And this is the Mark 1 set at a crooked angle. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do another video, and we'll just use that spraying and see what kind of a finish that can get with it at its new angle. And I'll run through the different things that I've done with it and tried with it and see whether that works. But as I say, I wanted to keep this as a standalone review of the Series 2, which I'm trying to do, although you have to mention the Series 1 when you're doing this. But you can see with the tip set up how it's supposed to be. This is full fan, full fluid. It's a high solids clear coat. This is multi-mix too. It's not the normal U-Pole stuff I use. And I cheated a bit because I know that the multi-mix does give a very, very good finish. So I wanted to use it for this so that it gives the gun a best chance of, you know, looking good for you guys, that you can see what it can produce. But yeah, I mean, I've absolutely loved using it. It's a really, really good gun. But do look out for the next video, because in my opinion the original gun is just as good as this if you set it up the same. It means that you have to hold the gun at an angle, a slight angle, which actually comes naturally. But I'll go into more of that with the next video, because you'll see what the other one does. But yeah, you can see this thing pumps it out really, really nice. They're still a bit slow. I mean, compared to the Walcom, the Segola, or the SATA 5000 RP, even the 1.2 RP, it's still slow. It's not the fastest gun in the world, and this is a 1.4 HD. But yeah, I mean, it's fast enough, but an absolute joy to use. And you'll see the final footage now. I think you'll agree it's a really, really nice finish. I mean, the camera doesn't really do it justice. It's difficult to try and get, well, it's difficult to try and convey what the eye sees really. But yeah, I thought I'd let you make your own mind up. But you can see it's a lovely flat finish, lovely gun. Yeah, enjoyed using it. Why they're so expensive, I have no idea. They do a digital version as well, which I didn't want because the gauge is detachable and it just looks an accident waiting to happen. Anyway guys, thanks for watching as always. Cheers, bye bye.